All right, welcome everybody. I'm Caroline Charles, Community Relations Coordinator with the Planning Commission. Thank you all so much for attending the virtual public meeting to discuss the updates to the Hillsborough County Comprehensive Plan Amendment Procedures Manual. We're looking forward to hearing everybody's feedback and answering your questions. Right after the presentation, we'll go into a Q&A session. You can submit any comments and questions through the question box, or you can click on the raise hand button and we will unmute you so you can speak. Finally, I would like to mention that this presentation is being recorded and will be uploaded to our YouTube channel and the project page. So with that, we'll jump right in and get started. Our presenter this evening is Yanika Mills. She is a principal planner with the Planning Commission. So Yanika, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you, Caroline. Thanks, Lionel, for bringing up my presentation. So this evening, we are here to discuss the proposed updates to the Hillsborough County Plan Amendment Procedures Manual. As you may know, the Procedures Manual is the document that guides the plan amendment process for unincorporated Hillsborough County. Next slide, please. The Procedures Manual has not been revised for some time now. The current Procedures Manual that is in use hasn't been revised since 2016. So in November of 2020, Planning Commission staff started a total revamp of the Procedures Manual. The layout as well as the graphics were totally redone. To give you some background, as to why the overhaul of the Procedures Manual was initiated. It was decided that the jurisdictions of Plant City, Tampa, Temple Terrace would have their own separate Procedures Manual. So now going forward with this update, Hillsborough County will have a standalone Plan Amendment Procedures Manual. Some other actions that warranted updates to the Hillsborough County Procedures Manual were there was a House Bill 487 by the state earlier in 2021, I believe, as well as there was also the private property rights element that the state said that each jurisdiction within Florida needed to have this adopted as part of their comprehensive plan. And so that initiated also and gave us some directions as to some things that may need to be changed within the Procedures Manual. Next slide, please. So some of the major changes I'm going to discuss from this point out of the Procedures Manual. Currently within the Procedures Manual, a small scale amendment is 10 acres. With the House Bill 487, once that was adopted, small scale plan amendments are now considered to be 50 acres or less. Another major change with the update that's being proposed with the update of the Procedures Manual is that currently within our Procedures Manual, small scale amendments are able to come in at any time within the plan amendment process within a cycle. We are proposing to change that. That small scale would have to come in at the designated times at the start of each of the cycles. Another major change would be if an applicant misnotices, in the event that they misnotice, the plan amendment will automatically be continued, and that misnotice may be subject to advertising fees. Should there be a second misnotice by the applicant, the status of the plan amendment would be withdrawn. So that's another major change with the update to this Procedures Manual. Next slide, please. Additional change is if an applicant fails to pay advertising fees, the status of the plan amendment shall as well become withdrawn. As far as modifications to the urban service area boundary or overlay boundaries, those proposed revisions to the urban service area boundary or community plan boundary or any overlay boundary shall be constituted as a text amendment now, and they are standalone. So you would have to do a standalone text amendment for the urban service area boundary, and then a standalone text amendment for the community plan boundary. As for all plan amendments are now, they need a affirmative vote of at least a majority plus one. Currently within the procedures manual, map amendments only require a majority vote of a majority plus one vote. So now it'll be all. So text amendments as well as map amendments will now require at least a majority plus one vote. Another major change that will be revised within the Hillsborough County Procedures Manual is privately initiated text amendments can now only be initiated in 2 cycles. That would be the January 1 plan amendment cycle as well as the July plan amendment cycle. So now privately initiated text amendments can only come in twice per year, whereas currently they can come in 4 times per year. Next slide. Okay, another major change with this update to the procedures manual is that an applicant will be required to conduct a neighborhood meeting if requested by a resident that received a mailed notice of the plan amendment. This is not required with the current procedures manual, but will be required with the new one. Also, an applicant can, on their own volition, initiate a neighborhood meeting. Maybe if they see citizens are saying they have concerns, they may want to initiate a meeting on their own. So within the new manual, we will give specifics as to how the notification needs to take place, where the meeting should be held, the distance requirements of who needs to be notified. We give specifics now as to how that meeting should take place and who should be notified and things of that nature. Additionally, sign postings currently within the current procedures manual, now they occur 14 days prior to the Planning Commission meeting. We are revising that time frame to 21 days to give the applicant enough time to have a neighborhood meeting if it's requested by the neighborhood. So sign postings now would need to be posted at least 21 days, and the notice would need to go out 21 days prior to a Planning Commission meeting. So that's changed. The notification distance has also changed. Planning Commission staff did some research as to in the area of other jurisdictions and their notice distance requirements. There are several jurisdictions within the area that have a notice distance requirement of 500 feet. So we thought to follow suit, rather than keeping it at 250 feet, we changed it to a greater parameter of 500 feet. Next slide. Okay, so this is another major change that's coming with the update to the procedures manual. Text amendments now have to go through quite a different process. So once a privately initiated text amendment to the comprehensive plan is applied for, it will be scheduled to go by the Planning Commission staff to go before the Board of County Commissioners to have sort of a pre-meeting to see if the text amendment that is being initiated can even move forward. This meeting will be notified. The public has to be notified of this meeting so they can give their input. Planning Commission staff also makes a report as to what staff resources may be needed and things of that nature. Then the Board of County Commissioners makes a decision as to if the proposed text amendment can even move forward. With that, if the Board of County Commissioners decides that the text amendment cannot move forward, the applicant will be afforded a 80% refund of their application fee at that time. Or the Board of County Commissioners will decide that it can actually move forward. Another major change for the procedures manual that is going to be moving forward is if the applicant decides to continue their application in the process of going through a plan amendment, there is now going to be a $351 fee. So keep that in mind. Next slide, please. So those are the major changes that will be moving forward with the new procedures manual update. Of course, we made minor tweaks for clarity purposes to some of the wording within the procedures manual. Other than that, again, those are the major changes that I mentioned in my presentation. As far as the timeline goes, we are looking to take this before the Planning Commission for a workshop on June 13th. Planning Commission will then take action on the procedures manual at their July 11th, 2022 meeting. And the Board of County Commissioners' decision in adoption of the procedures manual, we're still determining what date the procedures manual update will go before the board. Next slide, please. And if there are any further questions after tonight's presentation, you can go to the project page where we have the timeline. The project page also offers you the opportunity to leave comments. We will be receiving comments up until June 17th for the procedures manual. And next slide, please. And of course, if you don't want to leave a message on the project page, you can always give me a call or email me a direct question, and I'd be happy to help you. That concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Right, thanks, Unica. So we'll take a couple minutes here. If anybody would like to submit a comment or ask a question, now we'll open it up to everybody. So again, just a reminder, you can either type your question into the question box on the right, should be on the right-hand side of your screen, or you can click the raise hand button and we'll unmute you so that you can speak.
I see no hands raised, no questions, and no comments in the chat.
Thanks, Lionel. Yeah, we'll give it just another minute or two just to make sure, and then we'll conclude the presentation. All right, I'm still not seeing any questions or hands raised. So with that, we'll thank everybody for joining us. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact Unica or visit the project page for more information and to submit any comments or questions if you have any later. So thank you all so much for attending and have a great evening.
Thank you.